Hello and welcome to a brand new episode. This is Kringle Talks Football. I'm your host, Chris Kringle, and firstly, Happy New Year. Secondly, I'm back home, so I'm back in my space. And so if you're brand new to the channel, don't forget, as always, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I upload a video. Follow me on Twitter, @CJWright. This video, if you haven't seen already, we have started informal talks, at least, with Emiliano Buendia from Norwich as the sort of marquee January signing that we're trying to make. Attacking midfielder that we're all after. We've been sort of to and fro between Hosamawa and Emiliano Buendia, and it seems as if Buendia is the man to get. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about why I think we should be signed. Stop it. So James Benge put out a report today that Arsenal's interest in Emiliano Buendia is very concrete. That reality is the player would love to come, but it's basically all about how much we would offer Norwich for the player, and also if we would include any players. So names mentioned have been Joe Willock, Reece Nelson, maybe on a loan deal or a permanent deal. And there is definitely some substance to that signing. By the way, if you can hear any noise in the background, as you all know, we're probably going back into another lockdown. So homeschooling is back on the cards. My stepdaughter is just over there and she's trying to do her best with the maths. So maybe she can help me out with crunching some numbers on how much we can pay for Buendia. But the fee has been mooted by different Arsenal sources or different people in the game, saying anywhere between 20 to 25 million pounds. Now, whether that includes the two players or if that's just a standalone fee for a player who's currently top of the championship, who's currently rated number one in chances created. He's number one in created chances ahead of the likes of Jack Grealish, ahead of the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes. So he's definitely someone we should be looking at. And I've had this debate with many people on Twitter, online, about is he any good? Is he better than the likes of Fabregas, then Cazorla, then Ozil, then Ramsey, then Wilshere, then Sanchez? And you've got to look at it like he's a completely different type of player in terms of we need to build a squad of players who are going to unite and who are going to be good enough to go on and create things and win things. Not have a team of individuals who, through moments of brilliance, will do something, but through, let's look at Liverpool, who have signed Andy Robertson, who have signed Jordan Henderson, who have signed Gini Wijnaldum, who have signed Virgil van Dijk, all players from lower parts of the Premiership, or teams that have just been relegated to the Championship. These players, you could even throw in Sadio Mane in there. These are the players where, they're very good players, but they never came with a tag of, well, we're going to win the league and the Champions League with these players. They were players of, we're going to create a bond with these players and create a winning team, and then we can go on and sign the fantastic players like your Thiago's, Alcantara's, like your Mohamed Salah's, these kind of players. But they've proven their worth. Andy Robertson is regarded as the best left back in the world. So Jordan Henderson has been a stalwart in midfield, captain of Liverpool Football Club, and has taken them to the next level, to the new heights. Van Dijk is regarded as the best centre back in the world. Again, players who have come from Celtic to Southampton and now to Liverpool. So I don't think there should be any shame as to why we're looking. Firstly, in the Championship, I've mentioned in my video, another video about us being interested in Tariq Lamptey and why I think we should have gone for Max Aarons. Same thing with Buendia, because players like Hosamawa will come with a big price tag. And yes, they're probably technically better, they're probably more technically gifted, but Buendia knows what it's like, firstly, playing the Premiership. Last season, he was top three creator in the whole of Premiership, behind Kevin De Bruyne and Jack Grealish only. At some point in the Premiership, he was ranked number 5 out of the whole of Europe if chances created. So you can't put those numbers together and be a bad player. It's just not possible. So going back to my point of, will he make us any better? Yes, he will. And I've referenced it many times. You put him in a side where you have Thomas Partey at the head with two other players pushing on forward either around him. You've only got to look at, yesterday's game, Chelsea versus Manchester City. They had Sterling, De Bruyne, Foden, Gundogan in and around the front four with Rodri sat in. They play with a system where it allows their attacking midfielders or their creative midfielders to push on beyond the attackers, beyond the strikers, beyond the wingers, and produce stuff. I think it was Bernardo Silva played. So you've got five midfielders there in Gundogan, in De Bruyne, in Sterling, in Phil Foden, and in Bernardo Silva, who can all play ahead of Rodri and behind the strikers all at one time. Buendia is a similar ilk. Similar with the way we've seen the rise of Emil Smith-Rowe, and for all intents and purposes, Smith-Rowe has come into the side, done very well. He's put up a really good performance against Chelsea, against Brighton, and last week against West Brom. So bringing in somebody else to work in alongside that, where, like I've mentioned before, you have Thomas Partey who can do the role of both Xhaka and El Nino, Xhaka and Ceballos in one. You allow the more creative players to move forward, and then you give more the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Aubameyang, Lacazette, whoever it is, to thrive. So that's why I think, and I've said it many times, we should be looking at Buendia. It's very doable to do something with Buendia this January transfer window. Whether it is sending out someone like Joe Willock, who needs game time on loan, Reece Nelson, who needs game time out on loan, and brings in Buendia for a fee plus the players, fine, I'm more than happy to do that. We've got a big squad as it is, and we can register Buendia anyway. Kolasinac has gone out on loan, so we've got a space free up in the squad. We're trying to get rid of Socrates, we're trying to get rid of Ozil, we're trying to get rid of Mustafi. Like I mentioned before, Luiz will be out of contract. We've got a hefty squad that's going to be trimmed regardless. So bringing in that kind of player, and for me also maybe making an attempt to bring in another person, should be top priorities. So bringing in Buendia makes more than perfect sense. He's not of the same class as the players I mentioned before, your Fabregas, Cazorla, Ozil, etc. But he will bring in a level of quality that right now we don't have, and we can't go out into the market and buy somebody who costs us £100 million. It's just not possible. We can't go out and sign Jack Grealish for £100 million because we haven't got that. Isn't that correct? Yes, exactly. So making this transfer feasible with Buendia is more than possible, and it's something that I'm more than behind. But guys, it's just a quick video. Like I said, Happy New Year to everybody out there. If you're new to the channel, like I mentioned before, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so every time I upload a video, be straight into the account. Follow me on Twitter at Miss CJ Wright as well. If you like audio quality only, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Scringle Talk Football's on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere you get it basically. So until next time, guys, I'm Chris. Have a nice one.